It's time to check out these black toe Air Jordan 1 Retro High OGs that released in late May of 2013. Nike loves to stack late May with Air Jordan retro releases because the end of their fiscal year is May 31st, and it's a great way that they can guarantee a real hefty stream of revenue right as they're about to close up the books and count up all their money. This pair of shoes retailed for $140 and sold out right away, and it came out during an era right before Nike remastered the Air Jordan Retro line, and Nike was releasing a lot of Air Jordan 1 Retro High OGs in OG colors. Alongside this pair of black toes, Nike also released black and red, black and royal, black and shadow gray, and a whole bunch of other different colors of the Air Jordan 1 High. For some reason on the secondary market, these black toes have not kept up with some of those other OG models. I was just on Flight Club and this pair of shoes is selling for $375. The black and red is at $650, the black and royal is just shy of $1,000, and the black and shadow gray is upwards of $600. It's surprising because these black toes were actually the shoes that Michael Jordan was wearing in the Jumpman logo. Check that out. You would think that reason in and of itself would make this shoe at least as desirable as some of those other colorways. Interestingly, the first Air Jordan that was remastered was the Fragment Hiroshi Fujiwara collaboration, which was another pair of black toes. Just take the red on these shoes and make it blue, and put a little Fragment logo on the heel, and there you have that pair of shoes, and those are selling for more than $1,000 on Flight Club. I would argue that the retro pair that is more like the OG right here should be at least as much as the new retro pair that's just a collaboration in a colorway that was never OG to begin with. Anyway, because we're looking at this Jumpman card right here, I want to digress from these shoes for a second and talk about a lawsuit that's going on right now over the origins of this Jumpman photo. So let's check this out. I bought a Life magazine on eBay. It's an Olympic special from 1984 because the Olympics were going on in Los Angeles in '84. And as we flip inside of here, you will see a picture of Michael Jordan. Hang on one second, let me get to it. There we go. So there's Michael Jordan dunking left-handed in a pair of New Balances, of all shoes. And the photographer that shot this picture is suing Nike over the Jumpman logo. And he's saying that Nike ripped off his iconic image. And Nike responded to the lawsuit and said that this guy has no rights over Michael Jordan or the Michael Jordan image, and also that the Jumpman is significantly different than his photograph. You can decide for yourself if you think the pictures are significantly different or very much the same. Who knows what'll happen with that lawsuit, but I thought it would be worth bringing out this old magazine and the Jumpman photo just to compare. Let's get back to these black toe shoes. So like I said, they sold out for $140, and ever since this pair of shoes and some of those other OG models came out, Nike remastered the line and the prices of Air Jordan 1s and all the other retros have gone up. This coming May, Nike's releasing the Chicago Bulls colorway. It's slated to be $160, but who knows if they'll bump the price up even more. With that pair of Hiroshi Fujiwara Fragments, they were also slated to be $160, and at the very last minute, Nike bumped the price up to $185, and that's actually been the price of some of the other Air Jordan 1 Retro High OGs, like the Laser pair that came out around All-Star Weekend. One other thing that's interesting to note about these black toes is the shade of red going on back here is actually gym red, which is a different shade than what's on the Bread pair, which is varsity red, and the Chicago Bulls pair that's slated to come out in May is also supposed to be varsity red. Back in 1985, Nike wasn't drawing distinctions between these shades of red, so if you've ever seen OG pairs of the Chicago Bulls or the black and red or the black toe, the boxes will just say red. When I was building up the ShoeZeum, it was very important to me to have OG pairs from 1985 of black toes, of breads, of the Chicago Bulls, of the black and royal, really of as many of the different colors as I could find. And the black toes were one of the most difficult shoes to find brand new in the box. And actually, I never found that pair when I was building my collection. Every pair in the ShoeZeum, with very few exceptions, was brand new in the box and in my size range. But when it came to shoes that were so rare and so hard to find, sometimes I would make exceptions, and that was the case with my vintage OG black toes. They were actually used and didn't have their original box. I've since sold that pair, and I sold it for more than $2,500, if it gives you any idea of just how desirable the OG black toes are. It's surprising that it took Nike all the way until 2013 to retro this shoe as a high top. And there have been other variations of black toes that have come out throughout the years. The most notable was the pair that came out in the Old Love, New Love Beginning Moments pack, alongside a pair of black and yellow mids. So that pack was about Michael's old love of basketball, represented by the black toes, and his new love of motorcycle racing, represented by the black and yellows. That pack retailed for $200 in 2007 and did not sell out at all. It ended up on clearance everywhere. It's just crazy to show you how much the times have changed, that nowadays they can release one pair of high tops for $185 and it'll sell out. And just a few years back, they couldn't sell two pairs at the same time for $200. There was also another pair of black toes that came out a few years back. They were AJKOs, meaning that they were made out of canvas. The canvas variety of the Air Jordan 1 is the AJKO. Nike released a few different pairs of those over the past 5 or so years, and one of those was a black toe. Nike also made a black toe Air Jordan 1 low with a Velcro strap. That ended up at the outlets. It's really all about making the shoes look as much like the OGs as possible. And you can see right here with the Nike Air on the tongues, the fact that they're a high top. They don't have a silly little Jumpman logo back here on the heel. These really look a lot like the OGs, and that's why they sold out so well. It's such a good looking shoe, and it's so surprising that this pair hasn't kept up in price with some of the other colorways. It's been a great pleasure walking you through these 2013 black toe Air Jordan 1s.